to be supported in this women empowerment agenda. We cannot do it alone. On this episode, we want to have a look at the men's perspective on women empowerment and what they can do to help us. Our fathers, our brothers, our uncles, our aunties, our boyfriends, and our husbands. It is time for you to tell us what you think about women empowerment. Do you think we are fighting you, or do you think there is one or two things we are not doing appropriately? And probably give us your opinion and how we can do it better. I'm Martha Inspires. Let's take a break. When we are back, we delve into the conversation. Stay tuned.
Are you ready to transform your poultry farming experience to new heights? Look no further. Wumping Incubators is your one-stop solution for cutting-edge automated incubators, perfect for both industrial scale farms and domestic use. Powered by solar energy, these incubators bring sustainability to off-grid communities. Explore our comprehensive services and tailored products like consultancy to farmers and firms, hatchery for all kinds of birds like guinea fowls, domestic fowls, quails, turkeys, and ducks. Also, you can purchase your locally produced feed to meet the nutritional requirements for your animals. At Wumping Incubators, we sell day-old chicks ranging from guinea kids, layers, broilers, cockerels, turkeys, ducks, quails, and pea fowls. Whether you are an individual farmer, a research organization, a school, or an NGO, Wumping Incubators has you covered. We proudly serve governmental entities in agriculture, ensuring a sustainable and efficient approach. For further inquiries, you can locate our office at House and Zongo, in the same building with the Premier Bird Company. You can also visit our hatchery service at Kumbungu Zona, just 1 kilometer from Julizo. Call us on 0241 250 896, 0206 158 382. Wumping Incubators, where innovation meets agriculture.
Welcome back from the break. I have here two gentlemen. His name is very interesting. Idrisu Kumbundo. Kumbundo means a man from Kumbungu, a town near Tamale. So let's say if you are in Kumbungu, they call you Kumbundo, a man from Kumbungu. Okay. Yes. And I have it with me, Marvin. Your surname?
Akwai.
Marvin Akwai. He's a student at the University for Development Studies, and he's also an entrepreneur. He'll tell us probably some of the things that he does, and if you want his services, he does everything. You can get in touch with him on that. Komondo is a broadcast journalist at Majority Radio here in Tamale. When you hear the name Majority, we'll delve into that later on. Anyways, let me start with you, Komondo.
Yes.
Men's perspective on women empowerment. We've been hearing women empowerment. What do you think? Do you think we are fighting you?
I do not think women are fighting men.
Okay.
As far as women empowerment is concerned, I think that if anyone is thinking that way, he's an insecure person. Women empowerment is the society asking for a better deal for women. That's what I think. I think if a woman is empowered, that means she has a voice. If a woman is empowered, that's her economic standard is encouraging. If a woman is empowered, that means she's educated. If a woman is empowered, that means she has security. She has safety, and she is emboldened, and she can, she has a position in society. Her views matter. So, and with all this that I have mentioned, how does that conflict with the interest of men? I don't see that. So I think that for a woman empowerment, there's much more we can do. I think I'm certain we will get into that as well. But from my perspective as a man, this is not anything that any man should have problems with. We should not be we shouldn't be afraid of that. The point is, I see women empowerment as something that uplifts society itself, not even men. And I also see if a woman is empowered, don't forget, we say very often that behind every successful man, there's a supportive woman. But how can a woman become supportive if she's not empowered?
True.
If you have a woman who is overly dependent on a man, he cannot be supportive. She can't be supportive.
True.
She will be, I think that type, that she will even become a burden. You see that? So it is even in the interest of us to empower, or to have women empowered, so that they support us, they don't become burden, you know, and at the end of the day, we have a better family, we have a better society. That's what I think about women empowerment. So for me, preliminary, this is not anything we should be afraid of.
Okay.
When I say we,
I'm glad you are saying this. I'm
Yes.
glad you are supporting the agenda and not afraid of it. Marvin.
I'll just like to add that when we talk about women empowerment, probably it means different things to different kinds of men. Yeah. So where the whole women are rubbing their shoulders with men comes from that conservative part of our society where, you know, largely we've had a patriarchal society where power has resided in the hands of men for a long time. Now we are talking empowerment. It's now, okay, let's split power so the woman has a part of it. And very conservative men would feel we are losing a part of ourselves to the woman. So that's where that whole conflict comes in. But to think of it in its ideal sense, what women empowerment should represent is what Mr. Kumbundo has rightly said. So we need to look at it in circumspect, talk about what conservative men think about women empowerment and what the ideal enlightened men also think about women empowerment. But our focus is on the enlightened men, not on the conservative men. So that's what I
Okay. Do you think, okay, come in.
Yes, with what Maven said, you would realize the insecurity stems from the fact that, I mean, as far as the conservative men are concerned, when you say conservative, he's talking about men who find it very difficult to move away from the norm. You see, and stems for, I think, their fear, or why they find a woman as a threat is because there is a shift, a power shift. Those days, you know, where everything were on men, it's no longer like that. Women are now asking for a better deal, as I put it. And so we feel like we are domineering. Men are domineering, especially for those of us in this part of the. So we feel like we empower our women, and then that domineering factor, that domineering spirit we have over them, we don't get it any longer. But we want to be in control. But how do you control someone who is not even enlightened? And to be empowered is to be enlightened. So it is easy, very easy, to even control someone or dictate to someone, and she picks it. When the person is enlightened, you ask him to do A, you ask the person, her to do A, and she doesn't even know what A is. Chances are that she sits back, she doesn't know. And then when you come back, she is not done the A, you are angry. You are threatened by the fact that she didn't do what you want. And you feel like if I even empower her, she will betray me or disobey me the more. But that's not what we're looking at. I'm not too sure it is in the interest of any of us to have a subservient woman.
No.
A woman that doesn't question. She takes the things as they come. No, that's not it.
But I think there are some who want that because of the cultural perspective that we have come from.
That's why I say insecurity. For their own insecurity, they want their woman to be home. They want their women to be marginalized. They want their women not to have voices. That's because of their own insecurities. That's because of the fact that they feel like they have something that is being taken away from them. Interestingly, we are people that, if we are not Christians, we are Muslims. But even this faith doesn't, you know, doesn't, you know, we should not, look down on women. The faith doesn't say that. I am a Muslim, and I know, as a saying of the Holy Prophet, a gentleman came and asked him, Holy Prophet, if I am blessed, who should I look after, my mother or my father? The Prophet said, your mother. He came the second time, the Prophet said, your mother. The third time, the Prophet said, your mother. The last one, the fourth one, the Prophet said, your father. So this indirectly tells you the position of women.
Yeah.
And when women are empowered, if we have an empowered woman, we have an empowered family.
Yeah.
If we have an empowered family, we have an empowered society. So this, I think it is time. Yes, we are sitting here. Maven said our focus is the enlightened men. But I think we should also highlight the insecure men. I don't want to call them the conservative, the insecure men. They are insecure because they feel like empower your woman, give your woman a voice, and she uses the voice to disrupt you. But no, that isn't it. So it is in the interest of all of us.
The interest of all of us. And I like one thing you mentioned, that if she's empowered, she's able to support the man. If she's not
Absolutely.
empowered, what happens? Is it that, let me come to Marvin, is it that sometimes men fear that when she goes to school, she attains all the degrees and stuff, she will not be submissive, because they don't want, I read a story on Facebook where the man said that the woman's decisions are best. Anytime the woman brings an idea, it works. Sometimes his ideas hardly works. And he admitted in the story that even with their finances, the woman's decisions on investments and things has really helped the family, that according to him, even their grandchildren can live off their wealth.
Absolutely.
The woman cooks and does everything a wife is supposed to do. But he's sad because it's like his ideas are nothing. And the woman doesn't also rub it on his shoulders. But he has met, let me say, a side chick who is basically under him. Do this, do. He says this should be done. He brings the ideas and it is done. Do you think that some is just because of a natural ego? And not because of, it's a natural ego, no matter what you do. Even if the woman has PhD and would even kneel down and serve the man, but the man will feel that I also need to have the PhD or even something bigger than PhD. Do you feel so?
The issue of submission in itself must be defined within context.
Okay.
What is submission to me, Marvin, as a man, might differ from what is submission to another man.
Okay.
As a young man, my preference is not to have a partner that I just say sits, and if she's going to sit on pins, she agrees and she sits. Because if she sits on pins under my command, she gets hurt, I'll pay the bills. I want one that says, oh please, there are pins here, can I sit here? Politeness might be the kind of submission that I'm looking for. So, and on the ego issue, women have egos too. Men have egos. There are some men that actually would love to be submissive to their women. I think that we need to look at this from personality perspectives. Some personalities allow for certain forms of submission. It can be the woman, it can be the man. But in any case, why would you want to get married to someone, spend a lot of time as a man chasing this woman, pursuing her, then finally you get her as your wife, and then you want to treat her as though it's a slave you acquired.
Or she forced to even be in your life.
Exactly. Then what were you looking for in the first place? If as a man you go with that approach, definitely you know the woman would not accept it. So we should try to quantify what submission means. Submission is not ordering, it's not slavery. It should be more of respect. That's how I see it. So if my woman respects me, I feel she's submissive. And I want to give her that same level of respect as well. You get it? And an empowered woman, she's educated, she's all of that, and I'm her man. I don't feel in any way it's a threat. Because if I have an ambition to build an empire, and I have a strong woman to build it with me, that's a plus. What if the ideas that I have will crumble, but she can see and tell me, hey, babe, let's not do it this way, do it this way. And then it works. It's my gain. But then there you are, I'm the man of the house. My ego is on my shoulders. And then she's like, oh, that's my Lord. I will not say anything. And then it fails. You watched me do this and it failed and you said nothing. Please, so if I had said something, you would have beaten me up. That's not the kind of woman any man at all wants. So if it's submission that men are looking for, we should try to understand that respect is enough submission.
But, okay. But Melvin, the Bible says, what shall it profit a man? You gain the entire wealth and loses your soul. The same way, what shall it profit a man? You have a submissive woman, yet
you don't have anything to show for it.
There's nothing to show for it.
I think respect, whether man or woman or wife, we need to respect every human being.
Absolutely.
Exactly. We need to be kind to every human being.
Absolutely.
So if I can't sit and watch probably a snake or something bite you at this moment, how much more my husband or my wife that I say I want to be with?
Yes.
I would want to see my husband up there. Whatever I can do. I keep saying that if my boyfriend or my husband needs 10,000 Ghana cedis and the first person he calls is his friend, I have failed.
Absolutely.
I have failed as a wife or as a girlfriend. I know some guys will be gold diggers, hypocrites, opportunists. That's far. But when you have a genuine husband, like you were saying, who wants to build something with you, and my husband is broke, my boyfriend is broke, and he needs someone to shoulder him, I should be the first person he calls. Even though probably would have joint financing, whether joint account or joint financing.
So now,
whatever I have, no, I want to learn on that point. Like whatever I have, he knows. But I should be able to share in his losses. If you ask me and I don't have, maybe once in a while you're a trusted friend here and there because you know I don't have. But it shouldn't be a habit that my husband have come to borrow money from me, borrow from me, and maybe I have it. No, if I don't have it, it's a different issue. But if I have it and he feels that because of his ego, he can't come and take money from his wife, then I think that is not a good thing.
Now, with what you just said, that simplifies everything we've been talking about here. If you are married, you have a partner, and then you can raise 10,000 cedis on your own, that your partner, when he is in trouble financially, and you are his go-to place, you are the first person he calls. That is the reason that women
should be empowered.
That's the reason that women should be given voices. You see, Maven mentioned the fact that I have an idea, I want to build an empire, but then my ideas can't run that empire. But then your wife or your partner waits until the ideas you pushed hit a snag, and then she now comes with the fine ideas, and you're like, why didn't you tell me? Okay, as usual of you, if I had mentioned, you would have sidelined or dismissed my ideas. That's not what we're looking for. I need money to put in an investment, and then I go to my wife. First thing first, my wife offers me that money, and I preserve my dignity. Because I would have to go out there, go to this person, Charlie, talk plenty, I don't get it. Go to the other person, talk plenty, I don't get it. But I have it at home. Whilst you are running around talking, telling people what you want to do, you don't get the money. And sometimes you even sell the idea to that person. Before you know it, he takes the money, he has that money, he uses it to invest in that idea and profit from it. So, you see, it is very important for us to understand that in this world we are partners, a man and a woman. You can never, we can't live without each other. So, as we go about our daily activities, as we go about what we want to do, we should not forget to bring each other along.
I like that, bring each other along.
Absolutely. You see, in 2021, the Ghana Statistical Service and the CHRAJ, Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, they conducted a survey on corruption. the survey came out, and you know the findings. Women were less corrupt than men. The survey basically found out that women in leadership positions are less likely to indulge in corrupt practices than their men counterparts. Earlier I mentioned that an enlightened and empowered woman is an empowered society. See how we have struggled to deal with corruption in this country. That survey is practically telling us that if we find a way of putting women in privileged positions, corruption will die. You see that? So in the interest, in what we do as people, in what we do as a society, we need an empowered woman. You get it? You see, when you have people that sit back and scorn at the fact that, scorn at career women, they scorn at the fact that you see, in a typical setting, Ghanaian local setting, a man don't even look at educated woman when it comes to settling, picking a spouse.
True.
You see, this for the educated, they call them the awabas.
When you have a degree, or at most, when you have a master's, they won't marry you.
They call educated career women. I know my right people.
I know my right.
I know my right. For them, they are not submissive. But again, what shall it profit a man? You have him. You call the woman. She comes to you. She kneels. She does everything. Worships you. But when you need 10,000 Ghana cedis, you go out there to ask for it from a friend.
And your friend might not even have also.
Or your friend has, she does it, he will not give you. But when you leave, the moment you leave, he uses the 10,000 Ghana cedis to invest on that particular item. Because you don't come to me asking for 10,000 Ghana cedis and you don't tell me what you want to do with it.
Unfortunately, if you're a friend, I want to say, I have this idea, I want to invest in it. Be like, I can't help. Once you leave, that's why we have different people doing the same businesses around the same time.
Absolutely. Because
probably they are still each other business ideas. Let's take a break. Then when we come back, we want to delve more into this conversation and just encourage more men to invest in their wives. Stay tuned.
Are you ready to transform your poultry farming experience to new heights? Look no further. Wumpini Incubators is your one-stop solution for cutting-edge automated incubators, perfect for both industrial scale farms and domestic use. Powered by solar energy, these incubators bring sustainability to off-grid communities. Explore our comprehensive services and tailored products like consultancy to farmers and firms, hatchery for all kinds of birds like guinea fowls, domestic fowls, quails, turkeys, and ducks. Also, you can purchase your locally produced feed to meet the nutritional requirements for your animals. At Wumpini Incubators, we sell day-old chicks ranging from guinea kids, layers, broilers, cockerels, turkeys, ducks, quails, and pea fowls. Whether you are an individual farmer, a research organization, a school, or an NGO, Wumpini Incubators has you covered. We proudly serve governmental entities in agriculture, ensuring a sustainable and efficient approach. For further inquiries, you can locate our office at House and Zongo in the same building with the Premier Bird Company. You can also visit our hatchery service at Kumbungu Zona Yili, just 1 kilometer from Julizo. Call us on 0241 250 896, 0206 158 382. Wumpini Incubators, where innovation meets agriculture.
Welcome back from the break. I am so happy that the men today are saying that they agree that we should be empowered. So if your wife says she's going to do her degree after diploma, you have to agree. She's going for her master's, you have to agree. If possible, sponsor that. Her PhD, go for. Is there something after PhD?
Nah. Possibly you'll be elevated to the status of emeritus professor in something.
Hey. When you retire, you become emeritus.
You become what?
If you are a professor in, example, linguistics, and then you retire, you become emeritus professor.
That's like the highest you can reach.
But I'm not sure. There isn't anything beyond
Yeah.
PhD.
You may switch to
But when
other
you-
courses, but
If you become, if you earn a PhD, you become a doctor, right?
yeah.
Philosophy. In that
And then I think after some time you can become a professor as well.
That's if you want to go into the academia,
So
publish
you
your
start
articles, and books.
associate, then full.
But
Okay.
if you don't want to be that, then you just. But anyways, I think that once a woman wants to go high in any kind of education,
Absolutely.
she's allowed to go in.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yes. And if possible, the man, if you are capable, you should support the woman to seek education at the highest level.
Okay.
You see, again, that's how women get enlightened. That's how they get empowered. An ignorant woman, no matter what, can never claim empowerment, cannot say she's empowered. So, first thing first, you get your woman or partner the opportunity to get education. If you look at the elements that makes a woman empowered, education is
It's
one, because
one
literacy
component.
is part of it,
Yeah.
to be able to read and write.
Yeah.
Education is one. And you remember that famous Ghanaian who said that you educate a man,
I agree.
you educate an individual. But if you educate a woman, you educate an entire nation. So it tells you that if you are living, if I was living with you, and then I find a way to get you education, or you found a way to get yourself education, it means that it is not only my household that will benefit.
empowered, yeah.
I've already cited this survey by that showed that women were less corrupt as
Yeah,
compared to
yeah.
men, and it tells you how society will benefit even when women are empowered. You see, as we have this conversation, the question I also ask myself is, if a woman is empowered, what's her role?
Okay. The role of empowered women. Okay. What do you think our role is, or our
Yes.
roles are?
I think that for an empowered woman, you should first of all know that you didn't achieve that all by yourself. Someone supported you.
Your family most times.
Absolutely. And so you owe them at least a sense of gratitude. And then the community shaped you. You owe that community a sense of service. If you're living in a family, if you have husband, boyfriend, if you have kids, you owe the family a sense of responsibility. So these are the things that for an empowered woman, a sense of service, a sense of gratitude, and a sense of responsibility to your family, to your community, to whoever, your support system. So when you do this, it kind of places some limitations on you. I mean, let me not use the word limitation, because we are talking women empowerment. Limitation and women
Sure.
empowerment are, let me use them. It keeps you in check.
Okay. Okay.
You see, the supposedly conservative men, they have seen, they have experienced bitterness of women. You see, an enlightened woman, some of them becomes a demigod. That they want their, whoever they come, their male counterparts, to worship the ground they walk. And you see, that's
Some
what-
women feel that.
yes. So that is where there's a challenge. But for me, no matter the fault of an enlightened woman, a career, a professional woman, I will still 100 times go for an enlightened woman than a marginalized one. I will still 100 times go for a woman who has a voice than a woman who has no voice.
Okay.
You get
Okay.
that?
Let me come to Marvin on this. What do you think the role of an empowered woman is? Maybe to her community, to her husband, and all that. And some of the things that probably should keep her in check.
So, when it comes to roles of empowered women, we need to look at the roles in specific context, biological roles, social roles,
Okay.
even economic roles. An empowered woman, in terms of her biological roles, where she's by nature's own will, is concerned with being the first point of socialization for raising children and all of that. if children have a mother that's empowered, you can see the difference between those children and other children of women who are not empowered. Yes. They make sure that their children get the highest form of education because they believe it's necessary for their own future. But a woman that is less empowered or not empowered at all might not even see the relevance of, oh, my kids don't go to school, but that's the norm. But an empowered woman is going to say, even if I have to sell my cloth to make sure that these kids get the best of education, it's for their own good.
Absolutely.
For their future, she's going to do it. So biologically, it improves the way they respond to the roles that they play as women,
yes,
as wives and as mothers, first of
yes,
all. You take issues of their roles in the society, and here we have women being the majority when it comes to population statistics. So we have more women than men. Then we are looking for able-bodied persons that can take up leadership positions. And then we have more women. Even if we sample, we should get more women to take up these positions than men. So what if all the men that have taken up these positions are underperforming? But then we have a surplus of women that can take up these roles, yet we say that, oh no, women should not take up these roles, so we don't give them the chance. Society suffers for it. Sport, whatever. Currently, I think for the women version of the Black Stars, they are doing better than the men.
Far better.
Yes.
We are doing
Seriously
far
better.
better.
Yes.
They have qualified for every tournament.
And
And they have scored, they
But
have
surprisingly,
better win ratio.
Surprisingly, we don't get the kind of money the Black Stars get.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's one of the reasons why this conversation is important. Because when we look at what Nora is doing with the team, I think they've just lost like a game.
One game, yes.
One game.
And by the time they lost that game, they had already qualified. So you
Exactly.
say some kind of
Yes. The team has been scoring. They are not just winning by, say, 1 goal margin. They actually score goals
Good
to win.
goals.
Yes, and it's led by a woman. To
they
the point
actually
where
went to Rwanda and beat the Rwanda female national team, and their coach was like, the Ghanaian women were playing like men.
Yes.
So
Wow.
they
Yes,
sacked,
I've heard
they
men.
sacked her. The Rwandan sacked her.
I've heard men calling for that woman to be the head of the
nation.
national team.
Absolutely, I am one of their advocates.
You understand?
And do you think the men will agree having a woman having to coach?
They have to. They have
the
no
male
choice.
football
Well, times are
team.
changing.
They have no choice.
Probably,
Times are
I
changing.
pray
Yes.
that
Times are
happens.
changing. Now we have women officials in
referees,
men's
football
games,
officials, absolutely.
whether they are lines people or something. Yes, so that changes. But what I'm trying to say is that an empowered woman's advantage to society is matchless, whether she's playing her biological roles or even roles in society. We've seen women CEOs and their companies are prospering. Swap it for $1 million, possibly you will not get that same level of productivity. You get it? So we are empowering women because society in itself stands to benefit. We say the story all the time that when there were no more men to fight for the Ashanti Kingdom, Yasantua came up. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, she must have felt that, no, I'm good enough for this. And even if she lost that battle, somebody took the lead. And it brought honor to the entire Ashanti Kingdom. So that is what we are trying to say. As a man, as a young man, I'm a young man, I would not say that an empowered woman is a threat to me, because I think it's an opportunity for leveraging her partnership in whatever ambitions I have, rather than feeling, oh, she's going to rub it in my face and all. In the end, if she rubs it in my face, I see it as a personality flaw from her and not a gender issue.
Absolutely.
That particular person has possibly a bad character and is abusing the power that has come with it. In another person, same power, she might even make my life better. Yeah, that's what I have.
Absolutely.
I like the components you mentioned, personality flaw. There is a series I follow, Jennifer's Diary, and yeah, I watch it every Sunday evening. And the last episode I watched was when Jennifer, the lead character, was advising someone and said that it's not about love is bad, love is a scam, and those kind of things. We have very good men.
Yeah.
We have very bad men. We have very good women, and we have very bad women.
Yeah.
So you cannot say that because you have experienced that. Yes, we all say this cliche that is funny, that fear men, fear women, fear men, fear women. But we always say that in the area for relationship. Because when I'm looking for people to interview, people are sitting here as men. When I'm looking for a production person as producers or cameramen, I need men to do that because men are going to be there. There are times that women can't give me some kind of support. It's men that I call upon. So why don't I say fear men when I need that contract and it's a man in that office? Why don't I say that fear men when I need that favor and it's a man who has to sign for me? But when it comes to issue on love and relationships, and because you've had some breaks up here and there, you say fear men. But I've also seen some men who love their girlfriend head over heels. The girl is cheating on them.
They don't care.
They don't care. They want that girl. The girl tells them that every week, if you don't give me this amount of money, I'm leaving you. Wherever they will go and get that money for the girl, they will do that. Some will say, if you don't buy me an iPhone 15 Pro Max or iPhone, why? They will not stay, and they go and buy that for them. But as another man, you tell him that if you don't give me 100 to this a month, and the man's okay, go. It's normal.
That's it. And you see, we're in this situation because we are overly negative. Yes.
True.
If we tend to focus on the strength of a woman, the advantages that come with the fact if they are enlightened, they are educated, they have all the things that makes them empowered, the better. But the fact that Maven is my friend, he went all the way to get his wife the soft life. The wife misbehaves. All the good things the wife has been doing for Maven, gone. We now say, hey, next time, sir, another friend comes, oh, I want my wife to go to school. Say, hey, have you forgotten about Maven? You see, we are so negative.
Yeah, I remember there was this man who wanted to bring his girlfriend to the UK, and the friend said no. The colleague brought the girlfriend.
And this is what happened. You see, and if we were positive, I think that it is going to serve all of us. And the negativity is for both sexes, both men and women. Men fears the fact that, hey, I enlightened my woman and she becomes, like I put it before, a demigod. And women also have these negative tendencies because, and that limits them. So you would have noticed that when it comes to women empowerment, we have come a long way, but we still have an even bigger journey to cover. That's because women are still negative.
Not men?
No, please. Women are still negative in the sense that, and that negativity prevents them from achieving their true potentials.
I have
you get
something
that?
to chip in.
So, see, it is in their interest. Again, I've used this word so many times, for women to seek education. But the point is that you still have a lot of women who thinks that education is not for them. Oh yes, especially here. You still have a lot of women who feels like their only place they should be is the kitchen. You still have a lot of women who comes up and feels like her only priority is to marry. Find a man. That's
a rich man for that matter.
Yes. So that's the negativity I'm talking about. So I think we need to get to the point where every woman feels like have this thinking in the mind, what can I do for myself? Then what can Maven do for me? You see, when we get there, a woman will become less dependent. And we will not be able to have, that level of control. When I say control, I mean the negative one. It's okay for a man to look at a woman and, oh, this direction you are going will land you in a ditch. Go this direction. No problem. But when you have that sort of control over a woman, and it's more like you can't do anything unless I'm ordering you. That draconian kind of stuff. That's what I'm talking about. So for women, if we discard that negativity, we will even find it more easy to empower them. So that's where we are. The difficulty in the fact that for a woman, you see, I've come across a lot of women who are breadwinners of their families.
So many. I remember my first day.
Yeah,
in
they
school.
are still not in charge.
Yeah, no, it's true. I remember my first day in school, and
Yes.
then I mean when I my MBA, I went in class and our lecturer was like, "Oh, some of you, the women, you are lucky. Your husbands have paid their fees for you." Come and I'm the youngest in my class. All the married women was like, "No, don't say that. Don't say that to even get me angry. Do you know how?" But I was like, cover your husband's shame small. But there's not really even complain about apart from paying their own fees, they have to pay the fees for their children.
Yeah.
And even cater for the family. So it's true, more women are empowered, but because of that, the men have become reluctant. They feel that, oh, my wife is probably even earning a bit more than me or the same as I am, and what will she be doing with her money? And they don't actually take care of the home.
Absolutely.
Marvin, you wanted to come in?
Yeah. I want to talk about two things. First of all the dialogues that we are having about women empowerment now, we can trace it back to the earliest forms of socialization that our society had. In the very first statement that I made, I mentioned that we have come from a largely patriarchal society, whether influenced by religion or culture, placing the man at a certain place above the woman. But we need to understand that times change. Back then, it served a purpose. Now, it doesn't serve that purpose anymore. The most distinctive aspect of culture that I like is dynamism, where we say that culture is dynamic, meaning that at every point when we have to act out something and embrace change, culture allows for it. But like in our schools, they teach that culture is the way of life of a group of people, but then they tell us that what our ancestors did is our culture. And I feel it's wrong. Actually, the way we are now
It's our culture.
is our culture. What was done then
It was their culture.
is our heritage.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's our heritage.
Yes. So they've done things and have left traces for us to look on. But how we choose to live now is what suits us. If there's anything wrong, we can do sankofa and go and then pick up an element and bring it. But we are not supposed to feel yoked to that. Our ancestors did that. So that is what we are supposed to be doing. In any case, our societies back then were largely agrarian. They were farmers, hunter-gatherers, right? The men had to go do that for the women to also do something with the produce. So there was a split role in there.
Absolutely. So that's a shared responsibility.
Yes.
That's partnership.
Now, as we speak, how many families do large-scale agriculture?
No.
Except for certain parts of the country. So in the south where there are no farmlands, definitely women are involved in trade and other industries. And you don't expect them to be able to play that same role they used to play for the farmer husband, now that they have to go to the market and come back. What it tells us is that the man's role has to also change to suit the times. So your wife goes to the market and she comes back. She comes to take care of the kids and she's exhausted. And in the evening, as a man, you climb up in bed, you do your manly duties, and the next moment she has to repeat the cycle. When she's stressed out and she tells you, today I don't have the strength to do this, then you insult her. It doesn't make a lot of sense. You get it? Back then, you could have done that because once you are back from the farm, she'll do her bit, she'll be done with it, then you can have time to do what both of you have to do. But she can't be taking a part of your responsibility now and expect her to be playing the same
You know, I've
roles
always been saying that
she's been
you all
playing.
leave the house at 7:30 a.m. You all go to work. You all close at 5. Probably she has to leave at work at a point, go pick the kids from school with the kids or whatever. Get home at 5:30, 6 o'clock. You are sitting in your chair, pressing. Now, instead of newspapers, we are on our phone, WhatsApping, and on TikTok.
Yes.
And you are like, but where is the food? I'm hungry. And the kids are like, Mommy, where's my socks? Mommy, where is this? Mommy, Kojo has eaten my apple. Mommy, you know, you see all
the
those
woman
things.
is overwhelmed.
And she has to fix the food, help them do their homework, even clean. Maybe she's not washed with children. By the time they come back from school, their clothes are dirty. If you don't wash the next day, unless you have two or three like different kinds of uniforms for them. Then why can't the man probably take the kids? I remember like at the reading clinic, sometimes even when we're at Manyamni First, you see babies that are being carried by their older siblings to the reading clinic, and you're like, why? And they're like, their mom said that if they want to go to the reading clinic, they have to take their younger ones so they can get time and work and do the work they would have done. So that babies come, they're not part of the reading clinic, but because their elder ones need to come and learn, and their mothers have to also work, but the fathers are in their houses doing what? Nothing, basically. Domestic chores is not only for women.
That is why when some women eventually get empowered, then it appears as though they are rubbing shoulders with the men. I feel it's coming from a place of hurt. You know, sometimes it's the pain that makes some women do that.
Yes.
You know, it's the equity balance. We've been here for so long, and we finally had a taste of what it means to be free. We are going to rob it. You know, we are going to miss them.
That's the essence of all that we've been talking about here. And I think we have rightly advocated for partnership. And then it is when a partner feels aggrieved that my partner is not performing his side of the bargain, his side of the deal. That's when we have these challenges cropping up. So it is for us to understand that in every relationship we find ourselves. You have your role, I have my role, and we have to each. Sometimes, even if you are done with your own role, it is not a crime to help with my own, because that's what it is. Because at the end of the day, we still need each other emotionally, physiologically. So, and when, as you put it, when we need each other physiologically and one person is not ready, it brings about some other problems that threatens the survival of that partnership. You see, I tell you this, those days, or even these days, you have a family, the man is the head, he's prosperous, he's able to build a comfortable place, he's there with his kids, he dies. Unfortunately, the first thing that happens, sometimes they don't even wait for the funeral rites. The family comes, sack the woman and the kids, and then take the house. What happens? Today, if you have an informed wife, an informed partner, and unfortunately you passes, you have all these things I have mentioned, the family don't come near. They always do that. They always do that with the unenlightened, the uninformed ones, the illiterate, the people who are not educated.
Even with witchcraft, we see women who are 60, 70, 80 years. Just because maybe their sons are able to build them some self-contained with some tiles and their house is nice. Even when they are acting in maybe, they call something dementia or by menopause, the way they act and they talk anyhow. We say, oh, old age. It's menopause, don't mind her. But another woman who is in a tattered house comes out and see you passing and say, hey, if you don't take time, you fall, you die. And you actually do something and falls and die, then they say that you are a witch.
So you see, it is again in the interest of all of us to get this.
I wouldn't want my mother to be called a witch.
Well, the point is, that is where we now have to see, as partners in the relationship or even in this society that we live, that when you are investing in your partner, in your woman, You don't see that as a favor. I'm doing her a favor.
Good point.
You have to see that that's a responsibility.
And there's this
you
key thing. I don't
that.
have a lot of time. A key thing. Some men will also say that even though probably they have supported you in school, or even your parents took care of you in school, because you are now their wife, at the end of the month, when you take your salary, bring it to them.
That's great.
And they'll give you some. Yes.
That is great.
Yes.
and I'm not going to sit here and subscribe to that.
Oh yes. Amen.
You know,
haven't you heard that?
That's great.
Haven't you heard that?
It is great
But you've
at
heard
the
that.
highest level.
Sure, it is.
Absolutely. That you worked for it. It's for you.
Yeah.
You see,
But you're my
sorry, I
wife.
think you mentioned a joint account.
No,
Yes,
I
a joint. If you have a
finances.
joint account that you all agree that, okay, at the end of the month, let us all put this in that account to safeguard our future and the future of our kids. I don't have that problem. But at the end of the month, I am paid 20,000 Ghana cedis, and you want me to bring the 20,000 Ghana cedis to you.
You're the husband.
So
Yes,
you
that's-
now get-
You
That's-
now give me some 2K and say, you take this for.
No, that's not.
Okay.
I'm talking about when a man has to demand a woman's salary, the wife's salary. That's bad.
Anyways,
Absolutely.
final word. We have to do a part 2 of this, hopefully. Just give your final words. Let me come with Mark to having
Okay.
your final words on this men's perspective on women empowerment.
Well, I'll just like to end with this, that supporting the empowerment of women as men does not mean that we are giving away our power completely, because it is not power play over here. We are actually looking at partnership for our mutual benefit. When you take a look at the SDGs, I think the last one says partnership for the goals. So let's say that as a couple, we have some goals. We are expected to be partners for that goals. The partner is supportive, plays a key role in the achievement of whatever goals that has been set. And that is how we should look at it. If we empower women, we are going to have a brighter society where issues of poverty, streetism, and all those would be eliminated, because women are directly involved in economics, in home building, and in almost even in leadership.
Okay.
Every aspect of our society, we have women in there. So when we are empowered, society benefits.
Okay. The final
Absolutely.
words.
We have to. There has to be a shift. A shift where
Finally, yeah. There was a lot of time. You could
where
kind of
we
summarize
indulge
that.
more in the positive. And then, now, let me tell you something again. Today, Islam is the fastest growing religion. And if you go back to the Genesis, Islam was built, though the founder of Islam is a man, Prophet Muhammad, but it was built on a man, a woman. And the woman is Hadija, the Prophet's first wife. Hadija was the first person to have accepted Islam.
Can you
And
summarize
yes,
for me?
so it tells you that the essence of an empowered woman, and it is if we understand this, it helps us even more. You see, life is complicated because we still feel like women do not have, when it comes to decision making, women have no views. That's why life is this complicated. So if you are watching us, if you're seeing what we're doing, take it as a responsibility.
Okay.
Empower your own woman, and then treat your friends, your family members to empower the woman within
Sure.
their
Sure.
circles.
Thank you so much. I'm just so happy that we have all come to the same ground or the same perspective, that it's important that women are empowered, and they are not against that.
I mean, be measured in the things you do.
Komodo, you have finished talking. He said, we are empowered to do what?
When you are empowered, be measured in the things you do.
What do you mean we should be measured?
Women should be measured in the things they
Please,
do.
so look at that episode. what do you mean by women should be measured in the things that we do? But all in all, it is right, it's important, it is necessary, it's acceptable that every woman should be empowered in the right way, the right avenues, in the right environment as well. Happy International Women's Day to every woman out there. to our mentors, to our partners, to our friends, to, I don't want to mention names because I'm going to be in trouble if I do not mention names of some people, to my mothers, my aunties, my sisters, to every woman who have played a very important role in my life as a person, and also supporting the Martha Inspires Foundation, the Reflections TV show, and any other project that I have ever embarked on. I say thank you so much for lifting another woman. Go and watch my episode on Thought from Martha Inspires, where I said what women are their own helpers. I think this is the time that we need to empower more women, because we are really our own helpers. We do not speak against each other at all. I have been speaking with Kumundo and Marvin, who are helping, who have helped us to understand that they are not against us at all, and together we will rise. Together they are with us. They will keep supporting us every now and then. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Martha Inspires. Please have a good night.